welcome back to my channel and to a video that I have wanted to film for the literal longest time ever. I've wanted to do this video ever since I knew I wanted to make a YouTube channel years and years and years and years ago, and I'm finally making it. Obviously you know I'm a Disney fan, but you probably didn't know this about me, but I'm a huge Disney pin fanatic. I'm obsessed with Disney pins. It's beyond the point of return now because I just have way too many. I, at one point, probably watched every single pin related video there was on YouTube about Disney pins because I just adore watching pin hauls. I love watching people talk about the pins that they have and the collections that they have, and I thought now is finally the time for me to show you my Disney pin collection. Obviously it's not like the biggest. I counted like over 100 pins, which is still quite a lot of pins in the grand scheme of things. It's by no means my last or final Disney pin collection, because I'm sure at some point in the future when I get back to a Disney park or when I inevitably find a pin that I like online again, that I will buy way more and I will end up with hundreds more pins. But for now, this is my current Disney pin collection. I hope you don't mind the style or the way that I've shown you my pins. It took me a really long time to figure out how to film this video, just because, I mean, I could sit for like an hour watching somebody talk about their pins, I'm not gonna lie, but I didn't want to bore you guys if pins are not really your thing, so I tried to make it as succinct as possible and try and talk about the pins in the least amount of rambly way that I possibly could. I did kind of let you know what most of them were signifying, or why I bought them, or where they were from, and others I just was kind of like, this is this pin, move on to the next one. So yeah, enjoy this video as much as I enjoy talking about it. So yeah, on to me, well, my hands showing you my pins. Enjoy! Park pins. So these are pins from various different trips to various different parks that I have been to or that somebody else has bought me, and I've just got a little mini collection here, not too big. I really like this pin board. I got this on Etsy. So up towards the top here I have Disneyland Paris pins, and then I have one random Disneyland pin, and then these down here are Disney World pins, and then I have my hotel pins along the bottom. So I'll show you Disneyland Paris pins first, I guess, because that's the park that I went to first. So I actually still have some of the pins, these three right here, the Paris one, the Minnie and the Mickey just here. Those are the first pins that I ever bought, ever. That was in my trip in 2009, which is why I have this pin, because I thought I would get a pin to represent the first year that I started buying Disney pins, and the addiction and obsession with buying pins really started. And yeah, I think these two you can still buy. This one comes in a slightly different colour. I think it's more of a mauvey colour, but she is on a little spring. Her body does move. And then this one you definitely still can buy as well. I've seen that more recently in slightly more muted bluey colours, but if you look up close, the little letters have got little Mickey heads on, and obviously the A is the Eiffel Tower, which I think is super cool. And then this Mickey over here, I love this pin. It's probably one of my favourite pins for no real reason. I just think it's really cool. Obviously that's the classic Mickey writing, and then underneath it has all of his icons. It's got obviously his ears, it's got his shorts, his hand and his shoe. And like I showed you just now, I've got that pin over there, which is the 2009 pin. I didn't buy this when I went. I actually bought it online a couple of years ago, just like I said, to represent when I first went to Disneyland Paris and started buying pins. I say it's the first time I went. I didn't actually go in 2009 for the first time. I went in 2008 for the first time, so maybe I should get a pin for that year as well. But for now I've got the pin for the year that I first started buying Disney pins. Up here we have the two pins to represent the two different parks of Disneyland Paris. We've got Disneyland Park and the Walt Disney Studios pin. Personally, I think Disneyland Paris castle is the prettiest castle. I mean, look at her. And I love Disneyland Park. It's definitely one of the prettiest parks across all of the parks in the world. Walt Disney Studios I don't love so much, but I feel like if I had the Disneyland Park pin, I had to have the Disney Studios pin. It looks like a movie award that you would win, like an Academy Award or something, like an Oscar or something like that. So that's that pin. I have some other random pins, like this Sorcerer Mickey pin. I just thought it was cool because out in his hat is the castle and the one of the studios. That's Studio 1, the one that you walk through, and then it's got the Eiffel Tower. I have a couple of ride pins. So I have Ratatouille, just because obviously recently, it's October as I film this, the one in Epcot's just opened up, but I bought this around the time that it was still the only one in the world in Paris. Obviously it's exactly the same ride as the one in Florida, but we just had it first in Paris, so I wanted to get that pin for that reason. And then we've got Space Mountain Mission 2 because I love Space Mountain Mission 2. I rode on it many times in a row when I first started going to Disneyland Paris in 2008 and 2009, and many times since. Obviously it's changed now. It's changed after the 25th anniversary, like in 2016, 17 I think it was, to Star Wars Hyperspace Mountain, which I still love, but Space Mountain Mission 2 will always have a good place in my heart, even though people complain because it's not the original version, La Terre de la Lune or whatever it's called, but I still like Space Mountain Mission 2. I thought it was fun. What else do I have? I have some pins, more year-related pins or related to things that I did when I was in the parks. So after I went in 2008 and 2009, I had a big sort of time jump in the time that I did end up going back again. So that was 2016, and I wanted to get a year pin for that. So I went in the summer of 2016, and then I went back again in the Christmas of 2016, so that's why I got these two pins, because I love Chippendale. We met them during the Christmas period and I just think they're so stinking cute. These pins I did not buy from the park though. I bought them online not long after I went, just because there wasn't many pins at all for Christmas in Disneyland Paris that time that I was there, so I didn't have anything to represent that, but I found these online and was like, that's perfect, I'm gonna get them. I then went back in 2017 for the anniversary, the 25th anniversary. It was also Halloween because we went in the October time, but Halloween was solely in Frontierland and it was more like Dia de las Muertas themed, with Coco and everything there. So that's why they brought this pin out with Mickey dressed as like a mariachi with the sugar skull and sort of Coco-y kind of vibes on the castle. And then they brought this pin out, many pins actually, for the 25th anniversary. And again, I like this one because it was spinner, but I kind of wanted it to match this one, so it's got the same 4 characters on it. And this time though, it's got the characters in their 25th anniversary parade outfits, the explorers of the stars or whatever the theme was, and then in the background it's got the castle with the 25. There's lots of elements to that pin, so I really like that pin. I then went back again in May 2019, so I got a 2019 pin for that, but I just liked that it had Chippendale and the 2 park icons in the background. And then we've got Hyperspace Mountain, just because I liked that ride. Let's go on to the one random Disneyland pin that I have. I have never been to Disneyland and I don't know when I'll ever get to go to Disneyland. I'm hoping at some point in the near future, but my friend did, and he went around the Diamond Celebration and he asked what we wanted him to bring back for us, and I said anything with the 60th anniversary merchandise, and he bought me the pin, so I'm very excited that he did, because I was kind of secretly hoping he would get us pins, and he did. And I just think it's really pretty. They've got their little Diamond Celebration outfits on, and in the diamond that they sort of stood in front of is the castle. Let's go on to my Walt Disney World pins. I haven't been to Disney World a whole ton. If you don't know, I work for Disney Cruise Line, and obviously you get to go to the parks through that when you first start training, but then every now and again I would go on like a Saturday when we were embarking in Port Canaveral because it wasn't too far away. I also have been on one kind of trip for the beginning of my vacation that I had, so I have some pins to represent that, but then just random other pins as well. Like this one was just for when I went and stayed in Pop Century when I first was training with Disney Cruise Line. That's where they put you up in, so had to get a pin for that. And then just, I liked the ride Soarin', so that's why I have that pin. And then over here I have some Star Wars Galaxy's Edge pins, because I did go to Galaxy's Edge sneakily, even though I was technically blocked out of Hollywood Studios like 2 weeks or maybe a week after it opened. So I got that pin to represent that. This one, the Millennium Falcon moves across the Black Spire outpost, which is fun. And then we have the Batuu pin, which I think is really cool. I just love Batuu. And then I just have other pins. I didn't want to go a whole load of overboard buying pins for every single thing that I enjoyed, but I did think I should maybe get pins to represent each park. So for Epcot we were there for the Food and Wine Festival, so I decided to get a pin for that. For Animal Kingdom, I love Everest. I've ridden Everest so many times, but I thought I would get that one just because look how cool that is. That looks like a patch. And then for, oh my goodness, as I'm filming this, obviously Happily Ever After doesn't exist anymore. That's so sad. But for Magic Kingdom, I decided to get Happily Ever After pin just because I loved Happily Ever After. It was so good and I miss it, and I was so sad that I only got to see it once in real life. So Please bring it back, Disney. Thank you. For Hollywood Studios, I got Fantasmic. And then we were also there around the time that Skyliner had not long opened. And let me tell you, I loved the Skyliner. It was just such a relaxing way of getting from park to park and just chilling out, not having to worry about the hustle and bustle of getting to and from different places along like the road or like Disney transportation. It's just such a calming way of traveling around Disney. And then I have some pins for the hotels that I stayed at in Disneyland Paris. The first 2 times I stayed at Disneyland Paris, I stayed at Hotel Cheyenne, and then 1 time after that as well, but it was different then because they'd rethemed some of the rooms to be like Toy Story themed, which was pretty cool. But then I also stayed at Santa Fe and then Newport Bay twice. I would love to go to the other 3 hotels that they have, but if I don't get to do those anytime soon, that's fine. I still have enjoyed my time in these ones, but I just really like these pins. They're themed obviously to the hotels, so they've got like an Indian themed Mickey for Hotel Cheyenne. They've got a mariachi Mickey for Santa Fe, and then Newport Bay is obviously Donald with the little lighthouse tower that they have, and then they all have keys. And yeah, that is all of my park pins that I currently have. Next, we'll move on to some Chip 'n Dale pins. Chip 'n Dale are one of my favourite characters, and both of the pins that I have of them happen to be from Disneyland Paris. So there's this one, which is, I guess, them. Dale's got a little popcorn and Chip's got a balloon. Maybe they're actually probably just having a great time on Main Street with the popcorn and the balloon, I don't know. And then this one is adorable. They released quite a few of these kind of style of pins, and I just really like this one because they've got their acorn. So that is my 2 Chip 'n Dale pins. Let's move on to Star Wars pins. I really don't have that many. I'm probably gonna try and get more at some point, but these are the ones that I do have. These 2 are from Disneyland Paris, and these 2 are from a mystery box set that I was going to give to somebody, and then I thought, actually no, I'll keep them for myself because I've never done a mystery box before. I'll go with these ones first, I guess, because I'm probably going to trade these at some point because I don't actually want these. It's a TIE Pilot for the Imperial Navy pin, and then the Stormtrooper pin. I was kind of hoping for some light side characters, but I ended up with both characters from the dark side. And then we've got a Darth Vader pin. I bought this to commemorate meeting Darth Vader for the first time in Disneyland Paris, and you can see down there that it does say Disneyland Paris. So I think it's a really cool style too, because it's like hand drawn, if you can tell at all. Hold on, there we go, you can see that there, which I think is quite cool. I like that. And then we have this light side pin with the original trilogy characters, Han, Leia, Luke, Chewbacca, Yoda, and the droids, which does move. So I think that is pretty cool. Moving on to princess pins. Most of these pins I got just because I met the princesses and wanted to have a pin to represent that. So that's the only reason I have most of these pins, apart from Jasmine. She just came in the set. I don't know, I might keep her to see whenever I can meet her. I have a pin to represent that, or I might just trade it away. I'm not entirely sure. Let's show you these pins in a little bit more detail. So I've got this Snow White pin. Again, I just got it because I met her. That was the only reason. But she's exactly like all of the other princess pins that I've got. She's got the sparkly dress. She's got a rose. Her face kind of looks dodgy, but it is what it is. Pins just do you dirty sometimes. You either get a good one or a bad one. And this just so happens to be one of the worst ones, but it's fine. Aurora is next. She looks so pretty, actually. It actually does have a pretty good, decent face for a pin like this. Usually when it's so small and tiny, the details aren't that great. Again, I got it to represent when I met Aurora in Disneyland Paris, just because that was a thing I was doing at one point, collecting pins for characters that I met, and she's got that sparkle on her dress again. I kind of wish there was a pin, unless there is somewhere out there. If there is, please let me know, which it's like half pink and half blue. I think that would be super cool to have as a pin. Let's move on to Cinderella, which is the last princess pin that looks like this. It's a really sparkly dress. I think that's so pretty. Again, the face isn't the best, but it is what it is. I've got this pin of Ariel to represent when I met her. She's got her dinglehopper, which is super cute, and she's got her dress, the green dress on, which she doesn't have a lot of merchandise in. I know she wears it in the parks, but I don't know, I think that's a super cool detail. And she's got her little flower in her hair too, which is kind of cute. And actually, I don't know if you can see that, she's got a little shell as an earring, which I think is super cute. Then we have the Jasmine pin, which, again, undecided about it. I like the colours on this, the blues, because that's some of my favourite colours. I like that all of these style of princess pins are kind of catered to the actual princess and not just any random princess like design on there. It's actually got, you know, the colours that they have, the flowers from their movie or something along those lines. And this one has the blues that she wears and the kind of flowers that she would have. Yeah, actually does look like jasmines, which is always a bonus with these princess pins. The other one that I have is this one, which I got on my more recent trip to Disneyland Paris in 2019. And it has my two favourite princesses on it, and that's why I got it. And their faces are actually really good. If you look at them in a bit more detail, if it'll focus. Yeah, there we are. Look at their faces. Perfect. That actually looks like Rapunzel, and that actually looks like Belle. Yeah, I just really like the backing of this too. It just says, explore your world, magical moment. And then it's got like little postage stamps of the princesses, and then on them as well they've got postage stamps for like the places that the princesses are from. So you've got Agrabah in the corner here. You've got this one here next to Pocahontas, greetings from the land of adventure. And you've got Atlantica with Ariel, Agrabah, and then just Disneyland Paris. Beauty and the Beast is next. Beauty and the Beast was my childhood favourite of mine. I loved Belle growing up, and I just have a lot of nostalgia relating to her. So these are the small amount of pins that I do have for Belle. So I will go into those in a little bit more detail now. This one is Belle in her yellow dress reading a book, which I think is quite cool because usually she's shown in her blue dress reading a book. I got given this for my birthday by one of my friends on the ship, and I just think she's really pretty. I really like her. Another Belle in her yellow dress pin. This is just another one of those Disney princess pins that I had, but this is just obviously the Belle version. We have the Enchanted Rose pin. It's really pretty. I love the details on it, and that actually is stained glass, like you can see my finger through it. So yeah, that's that pin. And then the last Beauty and the Beast pin that I have to show you is the little chip one. I think it's just so adorable. I love that the backing card comes with Mrs. Potts on it. I kind of don't want to prize them apart, but yeah, it's just adorable. I think Chip is so cute, and yeah, I love merchandise with him on it, so that's why I got it. Let's go on to Princess and the Frog, another one of my favourite movies and a significantly underrated movie with very limited merchandise, but I really wish I could buy more, but these are the only ones that I have so far, so I'll show you them now in more detail. So I do already have another princess pin like this one. I will show you that in a little second when I show you my Rapunzel collection, but this one is just Tiana. It's got the purple. I think this in the background, because it's exactly the same castle as the Tangled one, so I'm assuming it's supposed to be Disney World. I'm not entirely sure, but it's really pretty. It's got Tiana in her green dress, and Naveen is there too, I guess, which is kind of cute. Another one with Tiana and Naveen, which I think is super cute. Hold on, let me focus it. It's got her in her blue dress, which you never see her in actually, and it's got some water lilies there because obviously it's supposed to represent her in the bayou. It's really rare that she's ever in this outfit in merchandise, so I think it's a cool pin. I got it in a set with other princess pins from Disneyland Paris, so that's that one. And then this final one I bought online. Yeah, she's in her green dress again. You've got the frog, you've got Evangeline, and I really love the sort of fleur-de-lis detail around the edges too. I think that's really pretty. And yeah, I think her face looks amazing in this one. Sometimes the faces, like I've mentioned before, in pins just are not great, but this one actually looks like her, and it's got her little dimple, which I think is adorable. So those are the Princess and the Frog pins I have. Let's go on to some random pins that I've got, just because. I've got two Peter Pan pins. I will show you it in more detail now. And then I've got a Frozen 2 pin. I've got an Inside Out pin and a Moana pin. I've got the Moana pin. I really like Moana, and I just liked that it had all of the characters on this one. I didn't actually notice that Hey Hey was there when I bought the pin. Obviously he's going to be there if it's got all of the characters, but I just didn't notice him until I brought him home, and I was like, oh wait, all of them are there. And I love Pooh. He's one of my favourite little sidekicks, and I wish he was in the movie more. So that's my one and only Moana pin. This pin is still knocking around, but it's the Inside Out pin. This one is the one that says Today I'm Feeling, and then it's supposed to be like Riley's head, and then it's got a spinner. Where is it? Oh, at the bottom here. And you move it around and you can change what mood you are that day, and what emotion you are. So you've got all of them there, which I think is super cool. That's my one and only Inside Out pin. Frozen 2, my actually only Frozen pin I have, but I just love Bruni. He's adorable, but I just think it's super cute that he's got his little fire, and he just looks so cute with his little face. And I have two Peter Pan pins. I really love Peter Pan, again, a childhood favourite of mine, but yeah, I don't have many pins of his. I had this one to represent when I met him in Disneyland Paris. I think it's so detailed. Look at his face. It actually does look like him. And then this one, I really don't know a whole ton about this pin. Let me just go to the back and see if you can see what it says. It wasn't focusing, but that's fine. It says Windows on the Magic. I'm guessing this is a pin collection that they had, but this one is Peter Pan outside the darling sibling window with Tinkerbell, and he's trying to find his shadow, which you can kind of roughly see it just there in the window. But if you turn it over, there he is, which I think is super cool. I really like that detail. And again, don't know too much about this series, but I just really liked it when I saw it, so I bought it. Let's move on to Winnie the Pooh pins. Winnie the Pooh has been a favourite of mine ever since I was really little, and I just adore him with all of my heart, so any merchandise that I see with him, all of me inside just has this like warm fuzzy feeling. But I don't have like a whole ton of pins with him on. I will be buying more at some point, probably in the future, but this is what I have for now, so let's go into a bit more detail of that, shall we? So the first one I'm going to show you is this little baby Winnie the Pooh one, which I think is so cute, and I got this as a gift from my friends at one point on the ship. And yeah, he's just got his little honey pot and he looks so cute and so small and so adorable. I have these two pins here. Oh, Piglet's just fallen over. Piglet, actually, that's the only other pin that I've got that doesn't just feature Pooh. Most of my other pins are all of just Pooh, so I need to get more character pins of Winnie the Pooh and friends. But yeah, I didn't buy these actually, I traded for them when I was in Disneyland Paris. Trading isn't a huge thing in there, so they don't have a whole ton of pins, but these are what I did trade for. I'm pretty sure these are just from a booster set that you could also buy there. They're very, very small though, like literally Piglet's is the same size as like the top half of my finger. And then the Pooh one isn't that much bigger. I just love that it's Pooh and Piglet because obviously they're besties, so they're together, which is nice. I have this pin, which I didn't actually intend on buying. It just came with another pin that I absolutely needed when I bought it, and it just says I believe in naps, which I think is a really great statement because I really do love naps and I really do believe in them. I feel like this is the perfect pin for me because napping is the way of life. Pin set originally did have 3 pins on it. I did put another one of mine on my work bag so I would remember it's my bag, but then I lost it. So it was just a bumblebee. It didn't make that much difference anyway. I would have traded it at some point, but it was originally a set of 3 if you're wondering why I only have 2. But it just has a little honey pot, which I think is super cute. I don't know why the honey is black though. Like, honey is yellow. Come on now. And then we've got the little bee happy pin. Winnie the Pooh is dressed as a bee, and I just think that that's adorable. If anything will make you happy, it definitely will be Winnie the Pooh dressed as a bee. So if you didn't already need that reminder today, don't forget to be happy. I still can't believe this pin exists. It's just incredible. This is my favourite pin that I think I own from the Winnie the Pooh pins I have. And this is my favourite quote from any Disney movie. And it says, "You are smarter than you think, braver than you believe, and stronger than you seem." And it's got Christopher Robin on it, and I just think it's so cute. So yeah, that's all of my Winnie the Pooh pins. Let's move on to pins from my favourite Disney movie ever, Hercules. Again, a criminally low amount of pins and merchandise in general for this movie. So first up we have the Hades pin with Pain and Panic. I just love Hades. He's one of my favourite villains and I think he's super cool. This next one, I don't know too much about it. I'm guessing they have more like this, but it's like cereal box style pins. I don't know, I just saw it online and I thought, okay, this is cool. I need it. And it just has obviously Mount Olympus on there. And then on the inside, it has what the cereal would look like, and it's the little medals. And then on the inside it has a game, because you know most cereals have games, and it has Pegasus in here somewhere. I don't know if you can, there he is in the top corner. But I just thought that was super cool and so unusual for a pin. We have this gorgeous Hercules pin. He's on his little pedestal and he's got his shield. Obviously he's just won some kind of battle with one of the monsters from his story, and I just think it's so cool. I love it. Actually, this is the only one that I've got that's got his actual face on it, so that's kind of funny. We have this one, which is one of the muses. I can't remember her name, but it says, "Honey, you mean Hercules," which I think is so funny. They were selling this recently on the Disney Store website, and I was like, I need that right now in my life. I just think it's hilarious that they made a pin with this on. You couldn't have a Hercules pin without Megara. She's gorgeous, and there's not much merchandise with her on there at all. And this one, I was like, I need that in my collection because I have none of Meg. My last Hercules pin, my favourite one that I've got, is this one, which has a scene from the movie in it, and it's got his parents on the outside, which I think is really cute. And this is actually my favourite scene and my favourite song from the movie. It's the Go the Distance scene. And when I found out that these pins existed, obviously it was from a while back now, but when I found them I was like, oh my god, I need it right now. Let's talk about my favourite princess, Rapunzel. I love Tangled and Rapunzel's story and the characters so much, and I just can't stop myself when it comes to pins. This is what I currently have. Not a huge collection compared to some people, but I guess we'll start from the top and work our way down. So we've got Rapunzel and Flynn here. The faces are a little bit weird. But other than that, I like this pin. I just like that you can feel their personalities through it, which is pretty fun. And that she's barefoot, because I feel like in most merchandise they put her in shoes, even though that is not Rapunzel. She does not wear shoes. So this is the other princess pin that came with the set of 4 that I've got. And on this one, Rapunzel has Pascal, which is super cute, and then she has the flowers in her hair. So that's the 4th one that makes up that little set that I've got that was like a booster set from Disneyland Paris. This one and then 3 others came in another booster set. I think they still have them. I got them in World of Disney and Disney Springs, but this one has the lantern on it. This pin came out around the time that Disney Stars on Parade debuted for the 25th anniversary of Disneyland Paris, but this is the princess float that they have. Well, one of them. They have little carriages, horse and carriages, and they put Rapunzel on it and decorated it a little bit to make it look more like her actual float. This is the Pascal that came in that little set of 4. He's super cute. He's not that detailed though, but I like his face, because a lot of the pins that have Pascal on, because sometimes he looks a little bit angry, which I don't quite enjoy, but this one's cute. I like how he looks in this one. This one is the pin for Disney Dreams, which is the castle show that they used to have in Disneyland Paris before the 25th anniversary. It was beautiful. The lantern scene in that was stunning. Kind of looked like the lantern scene from Happily Ever After. Also RIP to that again. But yeah, it's just the castle with the fountains, and then the lanterns on the castle, and then Rapunzel has Pascal on her shoulder, which I think is really cute as well. This pin is the Disney Store pin for the 10th anniversary of Tangled. Like I said, I love Tangled, and also this is the first pin that I have with Maximus, so Maximus, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to buy more pins with you on. It's the poster, obviously, of Tangled, and yeah, I just thought I have to mark that anniversary with the pin, so that's that. This one was like a little set that they did a couple years back in Disneyland Paris for Rapunzel, and this one was my favourite of them just because I liked the quote. It says, "Create your own destiny and follow your heart," which I think is really adorable. This is another one that came in that set of 4 pins. I'll go over to that last pin that came in that set of 4, which is the tower. And next to that I have Rapunzel's crown. They have various pins like this at the moment with princess crowns. They've got, I think, Tiana, they've got Belle, they might have other ones, I forget. But this one, her crown is so iconic. It's, I think, the most pretty of the Disney princess crowns, so I had to get it. This is probably one of my favourite pins. It's Rapunzel and Flynn on the boat, and I think it's just adorable. I love it so much, and what makes it better is it came with this pin. Where is he? Look at him! He's on the little lantern! I love him! The last 2 pins to show you. There's this one. I don't know much about this one, but it's got Pascal, and then this has got glitter in it, and then you open it up and inside is Rapunzel. No reason for it, I just saw it on somebody else's Instagram account one day and I was like, I need that. So I found it online and bought it. And then this is the final one that I have. I've already showed you Tiana of this kind of collection they have of princesses in front of castles. Details in her hair are really pretty too. And her dress too, actually, because in most of them they don't do the details in her dress. They just kind of leave it blank, if you kind of see what I mean there. That one does. But that one I think is the most detailed that her dress has been, which I think is really nice. And that is my Rapunzel collection. Here is, without a doubt, my biggest Disney pin collection. These are all of the pins that I've collected over my time with Disney Cruise Line. And this pin board, oh my god, it's incredible. I found it on Etsy, I believe. I'd been looking for a really long time for a way to store my Disney Cruise Line pins, just because I wanted something a bit more special, something ship related. One day I looked and I was like, oh my god, because this was here. I guess I'll start with, like, it's in chronological order really, so I'll start from this side. So if you didn't know, the Disney Fantasy was the cruise ship that I used to work on. So obviously I got the Dumbo pin because that is who is on the back of the Disney Fantasy with the little mouse, Timothy. And then I got this pin just to commemorate the fact that I used to work on Castaway Cay every single week. Up here, I definitely was not there for this. This is the Disney Fantasy inaugural sailing pin, 2012 to 2013. I have no need to have this pin because, like I said, I wasn't there. I was still at school when this was happening. I was like in sixth form, so I was like 17 or 18. So I had no plans to work on a cruise ship at this point or sail on a cruise ship, but I just felt like I needed it. Down here I have a random Disney Cruise Line pin with the characters in front of the ship. Down here I've got an aqueduct pin, just because on the Disney Dream and the Disney Fantasy they've got the aqueduct. It's really fun if you've never done it before and you're planning on cruising on either of those ships. Definitely try it out. These pins in the middle, the Pirate's Life for Me pin and then the Join the Resistance BB-8 pin, I got just to sort of commemorate Pirate Night on the Disney cruise ships. And then for Star Wars, just because we have a lot of Star Wars based programming. I used to work in a kids club, so there was a lot of Star Wars. There was 4 Star Wars programs that we did. And also BB-8 is on the Disney Fantasy in the Star Wars Command Post in the Oceaneer Club. So that's why I've got that pin. And also Pirate's Life for Me was a show that they had where it was like a pirate game show. It was hilarious. There was jokes and games, and yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I got to do that quite a lot because of working with Kids Club. But then also they have lots of pirate shows and the pirate fireworks as well that you might have seen online, or if you've been on a cruise yourself, you know that they have a lot of really fun things to go on Pirate Night. That's why I got that pin. And then we'll start with some more timeline based stuff, really getting into my time with Disney Cruise Line here. So I got on board in 2018, which it was 20 years when I first started working there. So I got this pin to represent that I was there for that time period. Next we've got Halloween on the High Seas, because my contract went into that. I was there from June until September of 2018 for my first contract. So I was there for Halloween, and it's got Halloween tree. And then the classic logo that they have for Halloween on the High Seas, which is a spoopy ghost ship. And then you've got Christmas, because I was there for Christmas 2018 going into 2019. It's got the Disney Cruise Line logo, but more Christmas-fied. It's got the Mickey in the middle as like a little bauble, and then just the colours of Christmas in the background. And then you've got Mickey here, dressed in his little captain outfit at the helm with a little wreath on the helm itself, and then he's in a little scarf. Because I was there for Christmas, it meant obviously I was also there for New Year's of 2018 into 2019, so it's got the clock striking midnight. Inside it has Happy New Year 2019, and then it has Mickey and Minnie having a little kiss for New Year's with the fireworks, which I think is adorable. And then we go on to Star Wars Day at Sea in 2019. Yeah, it just has obviously the Rebels on one side and the First Order on the other side. It has the 2 lightsabers dueling with Star Wars Day at Sea written on it. So that's that. This is who is in the middle of the ship. This is Mademoiselle Minnie. She is the statue in the atrium of the Disney Fantasy, and I didn't know this pin existed, and then I was just looking at Disney pins online one day and found this bad boy and was like, I need her, because then I'll have the complete set. I'll have the back of the boat, the front of the boat, and the middle of the boat. Here is the gang on sail away, I guess, the embark day. They're in their cruise attire that they wear during the first day of the cruise. It's got the fireworks going on in the background. I just thought I liked this pin quite a lot, just because, yeah, it represents a lot of things that go on the deck stage, out on deck 11 or deck 10, I guess, for the Disney Magic and the Disney Wonder. And then we have this pin over here. I don't know, it's just a compass, and then Mickey is in the middle. That's no reason for it, I just thought it was really cool. I guess it's not related to anything Disney Cruise Line, just other than I was there on the ship when Ralph Breaks the Internet came out. I went to one of the midnight premieres of it for the crew, and this pin was like $3 in the sale one day, so I decided to buy it. But I just thought it was funny because, yes, I was there, but also sometimes life on the ship was a glitch, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, on to the themed pins again for the cruises that I was there for. Yep, you guessed it, I was there again for Halloween 2019. This one's a slightly different theme. It's still got the spoopy ghost ship in the background and the Halloween trees, but then it does have Minnie and Mickey in their little Halloween costumes on it, which I think is super cute. Then I was there again for Christmas, and Minnie and Mickey are on this one this year, and yeah, it's just them with a snowman with their little winter attire, and then Mickey's arm moves so that he can put the little captain's hat on the snowman, which I think is really cute. And then that's the pin for the cursed year of 2020. And Minnie and Mickey are out on the deck stage again, taking a little picture with the little dealy boppers, and the fireworks are going on in the background. And then the final kind of thing that I got to experience in 2020 before the pandemic happened and the whole world shut down was Star Wars Day at Sea. Again, one of my favourite things to experience. But yeah, they went for a more retro theme this year, I guess, with these kind of colours. But it kind of looks more like 70s, 80s kind of vibe to me. But this is the Death Star here, and then you've got a TIE fighter up there. The ship sailing along with the First Order logo in the background, which, why is it? I didn't notice that it was that actually. Oh well, it's fine. I guess I have just a dark side Star Wars Day at Sea pin, but yeah, that's the last pin that I have to show you, and those are all of my Disney Cruise Line pins. This is my largest Disney pin collection, and probably my favourite because it holds the most memories for me. Just kidding, I didn't realise until I was editing that I still had one more pin to show you from my Disney Cruise Line pins. And that is this one just here, which is the one that is on the front of the boat of the Disney Fantasy. So all of the ships have different characters on the front of them. And on the Disney Fantasy is Sorcerer Mickey's. Yeah, that's the last pin that I have to show you now. So here we are. Those are my Disney Cruise Line pins. I'm just going to slot these in here just because they are pins, even though they're not Disney pins. They are Harry Potter pins. They're pins that I bought when I went to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in Orlando a couple of years back, and I definitely want to add to this collection like some more house related pins and various other pins that they have, but these are the ones that I did decide to buy. I was quite overwhelmed when I was looking at the pins because I was like, I don't know what I want. But I ended up settling for these two in the end because I think they're the things that I most enjoyed about going to the Harry Potter world. So I've got the Hogwarts Railway pin because I did go on the Hogwarts Express while I was there, and I just thought it was so cool. And I guess at the time, because I was just overwhelmed with all the pins, I thought, well, this one has the Hogwarts crest on it with all of the houses, so either way I'm representing just by getting this pin. Plus, it'll commemorate going on a really cool experience and going on the Hogwarts Express, so that is that pin. And then the other pin I got is, of course, the Hogwarts Castle, and the detail on it is so cool. Like, it's got the little gate that they go through when they go on the boats, and then obviously the castle, it's got quite a few layers actually. Like, there's this part, and then it goes up into the actual castle itself, with the turrets and everything, and I just think it's so beautiful, and I really like this pin. So that is the two Harry Potter pins I have. So that's it. That is my Disney pin collection that I currently own. Did you stick around long enough to watch that whole thing? I'm sorry if it went on for way too long, but I could talk about pins all day if I could. I just love them so much. So yeah, if you love Disney pins just as much as I do, don't forget to give this video a big ol' thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this from me in the future, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I would love that. Check out my other Disney videos where I talk about Disney Cruise Line, my job with Disney Cruise Line. I will leave that playlist down below for you. And yeah, I will see you next time in another video. Goodbye.